Hey everyone, welcome back to my Shoebox Adventures. Steve here. Yeah, hey, it's been a while. Last you heard from me was about 5 weeks ago. I was going to be leaving for Utah, right? Out of Flagstaff, heading for Utah. Well, plans change. Yeah, I had a little, let's call it, let's just say I wasn't feeling very well. Had to check something out. Didn't feel good. That took a week and a half or so to get that squared away. And then I took my truck in, because it's never just one thing. Took my truck in for an oil change because I was going to go on this multi-state trip. And the mechanic found something that really needed attention. It would have been bad for me to ignore that and then go out and get stuck in the middle of nowhere. So I had to take care of that. While that was happening, I had to schedule, I did the oil change, then I had to schedule the repair. So I went to the dentist. I was having some dental pain here on the right, or the left, sorry, the other right. And that turned into a disaster. I don't know what the dentist did. You go into the dentist, and I've got, on a scale of 1 to 10, my pain level's probably a 2 or a 3. So it's just, it's there. I come out of the dentist, and the next day, my pain level on that same scale, 1 to 10, is an 11. I mean, dental pain is the worst. So I had to get in there and get stuff taken care of, and that got complicated. I had to be on antibiotics for 2 days before they would do anything, and then they couldn't schedule me for a couple of days. So I was just suffering forever. I finally got in there, wanted to try and save the tooth with a root canal, but they determined that couldn't be done. So they took my tooth and stitched me up. What a mess. That was so painful. That was a week ago. My face is still swollen, and I can still feel it. Sleeping on that side is no bueno. Anyway, that's all done. I went through all those things, and I'm finally on the road. We're on our way to Utah. So, plans have changed, of course. I was planning to, as I'm explaining, let me show you what we've got here. I'm on Highway 89, northbound, northern Arizona. We've left Flagstaff a while back and heading for the Utah border. These are the Echo Cliffs you're seeing. We're on the res. This is Navajo Nation right here. And the Echo Cliffs are in front of us, and they're beautiful. But where was I? Oh, I was going to take my time. I was going to take 5 weeks to explore Utah, move around in the state parks, national parks, and spend a few days in each spot, do that kind of thing. Well, I have a reservation at a state park in Wyoming, and I almost had to cancel. If I was leaving any later than I am, I wouldn't even be able to get there in time. But now I have to really just go and drive and get to Wyoming so I can stay, honor my reservation, not lose it, and stay on this lake in Wyoming. So that's what we're doing right now. I don't know where I'm going to stay tonight. Instead of planning it out and say, I'll stay here for a few days, there for a few days, that's all out the window. I'm just driving until I'm just too tired to drive, which is, right now. But I'm going to keep going. And then, what have we got here? It's already 3:30 in the afternoon. So in a couple of hours, I'm going to have to start looking for a place to sleep. Hopefully I can find some BLM land or some forest land or someplace I can pull over and stay for free, even if it's a state park. I just don't want to spend a lot of money, because that's what I've been doing the last 5 weeks, spending a lot of money. My poor emergency fund, oh my Lord, with car repairs and dental, I'll tell you what, you guys. Anyway, I'm not complaining. No complaining here, because I'm still standing. I'm a little bit weak, tired. You can see I'm a pale face. We're here on Navajo land, so I'll call myself a pale face. I haven't been out. I haven't been getting my vitamin D, so I've also, I fall into depression, a little depression when these situations arise, and a lot of things go through my mind. But I'm better now. I'm out and excited to be traveling again. So come along with me. Let's go to Utah. I don't know where we're going to end up. But I'll show you what I'm looking at as we roll along. Hopefully you'll find this interesting. Again, I'm going northbound on 89, heading for the Utah border. Pretty soon we're going to cross the Colorado River, I believe, but those are the Echo Cliffs. I wonder why they call them the Echo Cliffs. Cliffs. Probably just a coincidence. I think the landscape out here is just amazing. Temperature-wise, we've full gamut. It was blowing wind up in Flag, really windy, and a nice 75. Down here, what have I got? 85. So, still very pleasant. It's been just horribly hot. The Phoenix Valley was 117 just a few days ago, just unbearable. So I was in unbearable pain with unbearable heat and hiding from the sun. Let's get out in it and let's have an adventure. I'll tell you, if the speed limit here is 65, of course I'm pulling my shoebox, my Tab 320, and I don't like to overtax my Chevy Colorado. This truck might have to last me for the rest of my life. I don't know. And man, everybody wants to pass. Everybody's in a hurry, even people pulling trailers. But I'm doing 60 and a 65. I'm comfortable. I get relatively good gas mileage. The Tab weighs about 2,000 pounds dry and about 3,000 pounds full, and I am full. You know, full water and a whole bunch of stuff in there. Generator on the tongue. I tend to max things out. And then the bed of the truck, as you know, is as full as it can get. I've got a lot of weight. We're pulling a lot of weight. So out of the last 268 miles, I'm averaging 15.2 miles per gallon. 15.2. Doesn't sound good, but I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm happy with 15 miles to the gallon, carrying all the weight I'm carrying. All right, kids, we just turned off 89 onto 89A. So I guess if we wanted to go to the north rim of the Grand Canyon, this is the way we'd go. But it'll also take us up into Utah. I don't take the interstate. If I can avoid the interstate, I do it at all costs. The speed limit in Utah is like 80 miles an hour on the interstate, so people go 90 and 100. So if I'm creeping along at 55 or 60, I'm terrified. I'm going to get rear-ended. People aren't paying attention. Everybody's on their phone while they're driving. So I like these little two-lane roads, and if I see a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit sign, I'm a happy camper right there. That's my wheelhouse, 55. I get really good gas mileage there, too, that 15.5 miles to the gallon. If I was doing 70, I'd probably be getting 11 or 12. And we're approaching Lee's Ferry, I'll bet. Lee's Ferry, a famous spot in the Old West. People cross the Colorado River on a ferry at Lee's Ferry. And now it's a great, I think it's an entry point for kayakers and rafters on the Colorado River. Yeah, Colorado River, here we are. Unbelievable. This is like the top of the Grand Canyon. How interesting. Should we take a look? What do you think? Should we stop? All right, let's stop. Navajo Bridge. Let's see if there's any parking for a guy with a trailer. It's not the biggest parking lot in the world. Let's see what we got here. All right, let me get this parked. We'll get out. No jumping from bridge. Darn, I was going to do that today.
This height, you would be going fast.
So I think this bridge that I'm on used to be for automobile traffic. This has got to be the old original bridge. What do you say? Shall we see what else we can find?
Doesn't make any sense.
This is kind of a fun little spot. Let's sit. All right, I know you'd probably like me to go into this interpretive center. Nice. Okay, guys, typical visitor center. We've seen a bunch. Lots of trinkets and souvenirs. All right, everyone. Lee's Ferry turnoff is right here. And I'd love to go there. That's one of the places I was going to go and spend a couple of nights 5 weeks ago. Too hot now. It's 95. Marble Canyon. Vermilion Cliffs right there. Wish it wasn't so hazy, but I'll take that view. Now, the sign we just passed, BLM claims that this is a Vermilion Cliffs National Monument right here. We've just entered it. All right, so we should be gaining altitude now for quite some time. We came all the way down to the Colorado River. Now time to climb back out. All right, 89A is just heading westbound. We've been westbound the whole time. We've gained over 1,000 feet in altitude. And this road is just kind of running parallel to the Vermilion Cliffs. I don't know if you can see it through my window. There they are. And this looks like the road's going to start really gaining altitude up here. We're going to climb this hillside here. Scenic view 1 mile. Should we pull off? What do you say? I think that's a good idea. Let's take in the view. Oh my, yeah, look at that. Ha! I wish it was a clear day. That would be spectacular. You can just see for miles and miles with the Vermilion Cliffs. Look at that. Unbelievable. Just beautiful. Okay, let's get back in the truck and keep on trucking. All right, so we left that scenic overlook just about 5-10 minutes ago, not long at all. We're still climbing, but look, now we've got pine trees. Landscape has changed dramatically. And down by the river, it was 95 degrees. Now it's 79. Hopefully it's going to get down much cooler than that. But isn't this nice? Look at this. We're up here in the trees. It was a real quick transition. I had pinyon pines for maybe 5 minutes. Now full off ponderosa pine here. I don't know what our altitude is. We've got to be at least 6,000 feet by now. Okay, I found a campsite. I didn't get to cross the border into Utah, but it's 6:30. We did a little too much sightseeing. Maybe you can never do too much sightseeing, but I'm not going to push it. It's going to be dark in 2 hours, 2.5 tops. And I'm up here by Jacob Lake, if any of you know where that is, north of the Grand Canyon, just south of Utah, here on 89A. So I'm almost to Jacob Lake, but I found Forest Road 122, I believe, and turned off on it. I saw one camper close to the road, and I came up here past a couple of campsites. I wanted to be far from everyone and far enough from the road. I think I'm 1,000 yards from the road at least. Didn't want to hear any road noise. And it's beautiful here. Let me show you my campsite. This is where I'm going to spend the night. I'm tired. I got to get something to eat. I haven't really had a meal in the last 11 hours. I've had snacks. But I got the hood up because there might be a rodent problem here. I just don't know. So I got the hood up hoping I don't pick up a mouse. That's only happened to me once before. Don't want it to happen again. I've got some of that Grandpa Gus peppermint oil cayenne spray. So I sprayed some of that in there. They like to gnaw on your electrical cables because some... Oh no, I already have a rodent problem. Gosh darn it. See all that insulation sitting on the top of my engine? That wasn't there before. There's a rodent in there that took that and made a nest. Well, okay, I'm gonna have to get rid of that guy. You know what? Last time I had a mouse, I gotta tell you, last time I had a mouse, it was coming back from Utah, from camping in a spot similar to this. I don't know if this did it or not. You know, people talk about different ways to get that thing out of there. But I decided to play really, really loud, heavy metal music, you know, as long as I can stand it driving down the road. And after I did that, there was no trace of that mouse. I'd like to know how long. That's brand new. Because I just had my truck worked on. They would have said something. I had the oil changed. They went in there and changed out all kinds of stuff. Wow. There's something going on, because that's the sign of a rodent under your hood. When all of a sudden your insulation's in a nice neat pile on top of a manifold. You guys see that in there? Let's zoom right in. See that fuzzy stuff right there? Yeah, that's not supposed to be there. They haven't made it into the truck, which is very interesting, because I leave a cup full of nuts right there in the center console, and a mouse would want my nuts. You know, peanuts, cashews, pumpkin seeds, that kind of thing. Anyway, enough about that. I'll deal with it. But let's see what we got. I got the truck here, and I put it up on these levelers a little bit because I don't want to disconnect anything. All I'm doing here is spending the night. We're going to get out of here as quickly as possible tomorrow. I'm not going to, you know, kill myself, but I'm going to get up, have coffee, have a little breakfast, and then we're going to pack it up and get out. So we're not going to set up a lot. I got a chair here, my table. Didn't do a whole lot in here. You know, I got my bed, of course, over here. I got a lot of jackets and stuff that I may or may not need. I tend to, when it's summertime and it's hot, I forget stuff like that and then end up freezing when I'm at high altitude. I don't know where I'm going or what's coming up in the next 3 or 4 weeks, so I just brought some jackets and some sweaters and stuff. And of course, I don't need my goose down or anything tonight. But it's down to 73 outside. I'm trying to cool my camper down. Oh, my pew-pew. Sorry, I didn't mean to put that in the picture. That's the official term for it. But here we go. I got my lanterns here, my Costco lanterns, so I don't have to use my battery. Another Costco lantern. They're solar. So I'm running my vent fan, sucking air through the camper. I've got this ready for my morning coffee. I'm going to have something to eat tonight. I need a little protein, so I'll get that going in a minute. Got my granola here, some honey. I got some onions and some garlic in the white cotton bag. Now, we're outside. Can't believe, now I'm distracted with that mouse under the hood thing. But look at this campsite. So I pulled off on the, I told you, Forest Road, whatever it is, 122 or something. I'll look it up on the map. And the road is just over there, but I've got this nice long driveway here. There's a fire ring, but fire restrictions, I'm not going to think about that. But look at this forest here. Sun's, you know, getting low, got a couple hours to go. And just the peace and quiet. This is what the doctor ordered right here. This is what the doctor ordered. Is a camp spot, quiet, the breeze is blowing. I'm out of that furnace, that frying pan that is the desert, the Phoenix, the Arizona desert. Look, somebody built something over here. Somebody built something here. How fun. Got a partial structure going on right here. Good use of wood. Forestry Forest would like this. He'd build something, turn this into something you could actually live in. But yeah, we've got the tall pines. The grass is still a little bit green. It is very, very dry. Full-on drought here in Arizona. But it looks like I've got the forest all to myself. It's nice and breezy, and I love the sound of the wind in the trees. I had this little tree stump here, so I drove up. This side was a little bit low, so I drove up on the tree stump. My natural leveler there. Those guys. The reason I did that is because the front of the camper was just a little too low. It was pointing down too much of an angle. And because I'm not going to disconnect, I'm not going to do all that. We just level out the truck. Let me walk back to the road here. But here's the forest road, 122. I think that's what, don't quote me on that. I'm out of my element here. I don't know where I am. But I've never camped in this particular part of the Kaibab forest, way up here north, almost to Utah. Oh yeah, I can see the road way off there. I'm definitely 1,000 yards off the road. And the road takes off in this direction, and this is where I stopped. This is good enough. I'm just looking for a place to spend the night, not set up camp for 14 days. Although there's nothing wrong with this spot, if I was looking for a spot for 14 days. Yeah, road carries on and goes up the hill. There might be just the most spectacular, beautiful view campsite right up there. I'll leave that for the future. We'll find that next time, right? For now, I am happy. I am the proverbial happy camper. Glad to be back out here. This is therapy for me, and I really needed it. That downtime with my cardiovascular event or whatever was going on. And then my dental thing, oh my God. Throw the truck, the mechanical truck business in there just for fun. An extra problem. Okay, well, I had my dinner, had some hard-boiled eggs, had my one beer. Delicious, relaxed in my chair for a little bit. And went to town on my engine compartment because of that evidence of rodents. Let me show you what I pulled out of there, just so you can look and see what I'm talking about. This is all the insulation that was sitting on top of my manifold cover. So that came from my firewall, right? And the only way that got out of there is for some mouse or some rat to tear that all out, so they can make a nest in my firewall, which is probably where he is. So, gotta tell you, life's an adventure. I just want to know how long that guy's been in there. I just had the truck worked on. They didn't say anything about that. So I've been spraying this stuff. Have you guys seen this before? The Grandpa Gus's rodent repellent spray. It's cinnamon and peppermint. All right, so I sprayed the heck out of that with that. And some people say it works. Some people say it doesn't. I don't think anything's 100%. I mean, I put the lights under the truck and all that. I've seen people claiming, yeah, well, that doesn't really work either. And guys that put cameras, you know, under their trucks for all night long. They got the lights under there, and they got the camera, and it just shows the mouse running up under the truck. So the lights, at least in that situation, didn't work. Okay, here's my shadow. I'm walking back out to the forest road here. Actually, there's another campsite right over here, and this one's further back from the road. This one's really actually pretty nice. This one's kind of on a ridge, so you get these nice, magnificent views of the forest out there. There's a drop off beyond the ridge, but we've got our, you know, we pull in like this, and you could bring a big rig in here. Plenty of room. And here's the main camp area. Here's the fire ring. And then you've got this beautiful view here off the ridge. So what a nice area. It's already cooled down into the high 60s. I'm so looking forward to all that fresh, cold air to sleep. Here's the view if you're in this campsite. The ridge beyond. Really nice. Okay, I'm back on the forest road now, just going deeper into the forest. I've been bedridden and couch bound for the last 5 weeks, so really anxious to get out here and walk, do some hiking, biking, get some fresh air and vitamin D. This is going to be great. Oh, heck, if you're headed for the north rim of the Grand Canyon, that's not far, really, I don't think. This could be your gateway right here. I've never been to the North Rim. We're gonna do something about that before too long. Look here, I've walked and walked, talking to you guys, and here's the main road I'm walking on, and here's another camping area back here. That's wonderful. That goes up and over. This is great. Sorry I was gone so long, guys. I was struggling. I tell you what. It's a test. Made it through. Back in action. Yeah, there's a lot of wood here too. Wow. So when they lift fire restrictions, remember this campsite. Nothing but wood. It's already pre-cut, ready to rock. All right. I can already feel my hips. It's funny how out of shape, how fast your muscles will atrophy when you lay around and sit around for a few weeks. Oh, turn into a sponge. And we're losing more and more public lands. I'm a little worried about the sell-off. I want to see what I can see while I can see it. You know, these free 14-day camping. And this is a beautiful spot. If I didn't have anywhere to go, didn't have any place I had to be, I could stay here 14 days. Ride my bike all over the place and explore. Hike for miles and miles and miles. Not spending any money on gas. Weather's fantastic. I like it that not a single vehicle or person has come down this road since I've been here. Okay, guys, I'm going to call it a night. Brush my teeth, arrange the camper inside a little bit, get the bed ready, and you guys get some rest. I'll see you tomorrow for coffee. Well, it was a wonderful sunset, wonderful evening. I'm going to hit the sack. You guys, I think I'm going to end this video now. I don't want them to be too long. This is probably going to be too long as it is. Well, this is day one of my run to Wyoming adventure. We're going to call it a night, and next video will be day two, the same adventure. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless you. Bye-bye now.